we're going to go into the zones menu. And you could see here, we've got, I'm just going to choose lab. So we eliminate some of the extraneous information. And you could see there's lab 1, there's lab 2, and there's lab 3. So let's jump back again to the slides. There's lab 1 zone, there's lab 3 zone, and here's lab 2 zone. Remember, we're using these 2 zones to facilitate remote connectivity down into this zone and this microsegment to perform system maintenance. So let's jump back over again. And we're going to look here. We see here is lab 2 zone. So we're going to expand upon that. And we could see the zone details here, right? We could see the name of it, and we could see the network ID. I think we've covered those topics ad nauseum. But now, if I look at connections, right? This is where, when we talked about earlier, Ryan brought up the different topics of discussion with regard to edges and assets and policy groups and zones, et cetera, et cetera. Here's where the rubber meets the road. And I think this is a good spot to mention. When we talk about network segmentation, traditional networking segmentation, right? Switches and routers, we're setting up the routing table here. That's all we're doing. You could either refer to this as setting up the routing table, you could refer to this as setting up the VLANs. And we're now facilitating the communication between the 2 zones. So you'll notice here, for inbound connections, in other words, for inbound connections to lab 2 zone, we see that we're allowing traffic from lab 1, which, if your memory serves, that's the lab with the laptop and the single endpoint edge. We're allowing inbound traffic from lab 3, which is on the slide, is that bottom left-hand corner quadrant, and from Matthias. So there's another zone that we're allowing inbound traffic to. Now, we also want to potentially allow outbound traffic from one zone to another. So we also have to ensure that we're allowing outbound traffic. So here's the inbound, here's the outbound, and you could see that we're allowing outbound traffic from lab 1 and lab 3, or to lab 1 and lab 3. So lab 1 and lab 3 can communicate into that zone, and lab 1 and lab 3 can receive traffic from that zone. And then last but not least, you could see the members. So this shows the policy groups that are utilizing this zone, as well as the edges that are impacted by this zone. And here you'll see, let me move this over a little bit so you can see what I'm talking about. There we go. So here you'll see for this particular zone and this particular edge, we can see the JLGW2 at 10.20.40.9. Remember, that's the gateway or portal to enter and leave that zone. You can see that my MAC address is listed. The serial number for my gateway is listed. You can see that I am the activator. That'll come in another session. The date of activation and the software version. So here's all the pertinent information for the 4 pieces of equipment, the 4 either endpoint edges, gateway edges, or a combination of the 2. You could see these are the 4 edges that reside within this zone. All right, and the policy groups that are dictating or mandating the controls that are applied to those assets.